All right, listeners, get ready for a deep dive today into something pretty wild. You guys sent in excerpts from a fictional book, and, well, just the idea behind it had me hooked right away. We're talking about The Man Who Stopped Aging.
Hmm. Yeah, it really makes you think, doesn't it? What if we could actually, push the limits of how long we live? What would that even mean for us, for like all of society? How would it change the way we see life itself?
Totally. I mean, that's what's so awesome about this deep dive, right? We get to explore those questions, but through the eyes of this character, William, the main guy in the story. Now, remember, we're treating these fictional excerpts like they're facts, just so we can really dig into the ideas. So tell me, what do we know about this William guy?
Okay, so he's about to hit 90, which is pretty impressive on its own. But get this, he's on the verge of having this procedure, and it basically promises to make him immortal. It's called neural digitization.
Neural digitization. Whoa, that sounds intense. Can you break that down for me a little? What exactly does that even involve?
Okay, so picture this. You map out every single connection in your brain, creating a complete blueprint of your consciousness. And that's what a connectome is, basically. Neural digitization takes that map and transfers it into a digital existence.
Whoa, so we're talking about uploading his consciousness to a computer. Like all his thoughts, memories, his whole sense of self will be digital. I'm already getting goosebumps.
Yeah, it's a radical idea, and it brings up all sorts of questions about what makes us who we are. Like, is our consciousness tied to our physical body, or can it actually exist in a digital world on its own?
See, that's what I find so fascinating about this whole thing. It's like science fiction colliding with philosophy. Well, let's get back to William. Is he just like totally gung-ho about this immortality thing, or does he have any second thoughts?
Oh, he's definitely wrestling with the implications. In the excerpts he sent, he actually asks himself, will I still be William, or just an algorithmic wanderer? It's a deep question, don't you think? What makes us us if we lose our physical form?
Totally. And I think that question really gets to the heart of why this deep dive is so gripping. It's not just about the tech, it's about what it means to be human in a world where life and death could become like fluid.
Right, exactly. And speaking of pushing boundaries, the story gets even more interesting when doctors examine William's genes before the procedure. They find mutations that suggest he might have already been predisposed to living a really long time.
So it's like he was already on track for a long life, and this procedure is just kicking things into high gear. Makes you wonder if there are other people out there with similar genetic quirks living longer than we'd expect.
Yeah, it definitely opens up a whole new area to explore. What if there are genetic factors we're just starting to understand that contribute to longevity?
Hmm.
Could we use that knowledge to extend human lifespans in the future?
Okay, now you're really getting me excited. We're talking about a potential game changer in how we understand aging. But for now, let's circle back to William. How does he feel about this procedure, knowing that he might have already been destined for a longer life? Does it change his perspective at all?
Well, from the excerpts, it seems like he's excited about the possibility of living longer, but also a little nervous. He wonders about the quality of that life. Will he still be himself? Will he be happy? Will he feel fulfilled?
It's like he's standing at the edge of something vast and unknown, full of both potential and uncertainty. I can't even imagine what must be going through his head. But that's where we come in, right? We're here to really delve into those thoughts and feelings, to explore the human side of this incredible story.
Exactly. And I think one of the most compelling things about it is how William's journey makes us think about our own lives, too. What would we do with an extended lifespan? What values would guide us? How would we find purpose and meaning over centuries?
Those are some big questions. And I have a feeling we're just getting started here. But before we go any further, I want to take a step back and really try to understand what William is giving up by doing this procedure. He's leaving behind his physical body, his connection to the real physical world. What are the implications of that?
That's a really important point. He's basically cutting ties with the tangible world as we know it. His senses, his physical experiences, they'll all be filtered through this digital realm. It makes you wonder about the nature of reality itself.
Whoa, now that's some deep stuff. It's like we're stepping into the matrix here. So tell me, what does this digital world look like for William? What kind of existence is waiting for him on the other side of this procedure?
Well, from what you've shared, it sounds like they've created a sort of virtual haven for him, a digital replica of his study with simulated sunsets and digital bookshelves. It's their way of trying to make it feel familiar, like home, as he adjusts to this new digital reality.
Okay, so they're easing him into it, making it feel as cozy as possible. But a digital sunset, Even if it's super realistic, can it really compare to the real deal?
That's the million-dollar question, and I think it gets at the heart of what William is struggling with. Can a digital existence truly capture the richness and complexity of the physical world? Can it give him the same depth of experience, the same feeling of connection?
Yeah, I'm already feeling overwhelmed by all the possibilities, and we haven't even gotten to the good stuff yet. But this feels like a good spot to pause for a second. We've laid the groundwork, introduced William and this mind-blowing idea of neural digitization, and hinted at some of the big questions we'll be tackling.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm excited to dive deeper into those questions.
Hmm.
We'll explore how William adapts to this digital world, his encounters with digital versions of his wives, and the profound insights he gains along the way.
I can't wait. We'll be right back to continue our deep dive into The Man Who Stopped Aging.
Welcome back to our deep dive. Before we took a pause, we had left William about to take that leap into a digital existence.
Yeah, and I'm super curious how he handles this whole new reality. It's got to be like being reborn into a totally different world, one where time and space work differently.
It is. In the excerpts, William describes his early days in this digital world. He talks about how he explores this huge virtual library packed with books and knowledge. It's like having the entire history of thought available to him.
Oh, wow, I can't even imagine.
Huh.
Having access to every book, every piece of art, every scientific discovery, it would be like trying to drink from a fire hose of knowledge.
It really would. And William seems to absolutely love it, this chance to just explore intellectually. He dives into philosophy, cosmology, history, anything you can think of. He's like on this mission to understand the universe, both the real one and this digital one.
But it can't be all books and learning, can it?
Yeah.
There's got to be some kind of human connection, even in a digital world.
You're totally right. And that's where things get really interesting. The scientists have used William's memories to create digital versions of his wives, Lena and Sarah. He can interact with them, have conversations, even relive memories they shared.
Wait, hold up a sec. Are we talking like holograms, avatars? What
Yeah.
what do these digital recreations even look and act like?
Well, based on the excerpts, it's more like interacting with a super advanced AI. It's been programmed with everything William remembers about his wives, everything he knew about them. They can talk, share thoughts and feelings, even offer him comfort and company.
Wow, that's kind of amazing, but also a little creepy. Makes you wonder if these recreations are actually sentient, if they're conscious, or if they're just really good simulations.
Yeah, that's a question that's still up for debate among philosophers and scientists. But for William, it seems like the line between what's real and what's simulated starts to blur. He finds comfort in these interactions, reconnecting with these women he loved and lost.
It makes you think about grief and how we deal with loss. Could this kind of tech offer a new way to cope with losing loved ones? Would it help us heal, or would it just keep us stuck in the past?
Those are some deep questions. I think William's story forces us to think about the ethics of this kind of tech. Is it a gift or a burden to be able to digitally bring back people we've lost? What are the psychological and emotional effects?
Man, this is making my head spin. But for William, it seems like these interactions with Lena and Sarah give him some comfort, some understanding. They have these really profound conversations about life, love, and what it all means.
Exactly. And in one of those conversations, Sarah brings up a really interesting point about embracing the absurdity of life. She mentions the philosopher Albert Camus and his idea that life can feel like a pointless struggle, a lot like the myth of Sisyphus, who's forever rolling a boulder uphill.
Okay, that's a pretty bleak comparison.
Yeah.
But I get it. Life can throw you curveballs, and sometimes it feels like you're just spinning your wheels, not getting anywhere.
Right. But Camus also says that even in that struggle, even when things feel meaningless, we can find meaning, even joy, by rebelling against it, by embracing the present moment.
So it's like finding a reason to keep pushing that boulder, even though you know it's just going to roll back down.
You could say that. It's about finding purpose and meaning in the journey, not just the destination. And it seems like William really connects with that idea. He's dealing with his own mortality, even as he's starting on this path to digital immortality.
I think that's what makes this story so relatable. You know, even though William's situation is extraordinary, he's still wrestling with these universal human questions. What does it mean to live a life with meaning? What does it mean to love and lose? And how do we make the most of the time we have?
I completely agree. And his talks with Lena and Sarah really highlight those themes. They talk about being honest, communicating, truly engaging in relationships. They discuss forgiveness and how much courage it takes to face our past mistakes.
Yeah, those are lessons we can all apply, whether we're facing eternity in a digital world or just dealing with the everyday ups and downs of life.
Exactly. And Through these conversations, William starts to realize that even though he's physically alone in this digital world, the things that make us human connection, love, empathy, they're still real.
So even though he's like transcended his physical body, he's still driven by the same human needs. The need to connect, to find meaning, to love. It's a reminder that no matter how advanced technology gets, it can't replace what makes us human at our core.
You got it. And as William gets deeper into this digital existence, he starts to deal with another fundamental human experience, grief. He spends a lot of time thinking about his relationships with Lena and Sarah, reliving good memories, but also confronting the pain of losing them. It's like he's processing those emotions in a completely new way.
I can't even imagine what that would be like, to be able to relive those memories so clearly, to feel those emotions so strongly. Even centuries later, it would be both amazing and heartbreaking.
It would be both, for sure. And William seems to experience both sides of that coin. He finds comfort in those memories, but also recognizes the importance of letting go, of accepting that life is fleeting, even though he's on this path that seems to defy death.
It's like he's learning that even in this digital afterlife, he can't escape the cycle of life and death,
Yeah.
of love and loss. Those are the experiences that make us human, that shape us, that give our lives meaning.
Yeah. And as William comes to terms with all of that, he starts to really appreciate the present moment. He sees the beauty and the fragility of life, even in this digital form. He starts exploring new hobbies, new interests, new ways to connect with the world around him. It's like he's rediscovering a sense of purpose and energy.
So even though he's achieved a kind of immortality,
Mhm.
he's not just sitting around watching the world go by. He's still active, seeking out new experiences, learning and growing.
Exactly. That's what's so inspiring about William's story. It reminds us that no matter how long we live, no matter what form our existence takes, there's always room for growth, for new discoveries, for fresh starts.
Welcome back to the show. We've really been on this incredible journey with William, exploring this whole uncharted territory of digital immortality. Last we left off, he was embracing new experiences, finding a renewed sense of purpose, even while dealing with the complexities of living such a long life.
Yeah, it's like as his story goes on, we see him navigating those complexities with more and more wisdom and grace. Almost like he's learning how to balance the weight of his past with all the possibilities of his future.
And speaking of new beginnings, we left off with William finding love again with Penelope. It just goes to show that even in a world where life and death aren't so clear-cut, human connection is still a powerful thing.
Oh, absolutely. Their relationship really highlights that. They have this playful dynamic, lots of laughter, gentle teasing, and a shared appreciation for all the weirdness of life. It's like they've found a way to embrace the chaos and find joy in just being together.
They seem so at ease with each other, so willing to be vulnerable and just be themselves. It's really refreshing to see, especially after all the heartbreak and loss William's been through.
And it's through that vulnerability, that willingness to share their hopes and fears, that their connection grows even stronger. William opens up to Penelope about his past, sharing those painful memories from his first marriage, the mistakes he made, the things he learned.
It's like he's finally found someone he can truly trust, someone who accepts him, flaws and all. And Penelope, in return, gives him a fresh perspective, reminds him that love and happiness are still possible, even with all the loss and uncertainty he's faced.
Their conversations often dive into these deep questions that William's been wrestling with throughout his long life. They talk about the ethics of living so long, the challenges of outliving the people you love, and what it means to live a life that goes way beyond normal limits.
It's really interesting to see how Penelope, who's grounded in a normal lifespan, tries to understand these concepts. She brings a different viewpoint, challenging William's ideas and pushing him to think about things in new ways.
Yeah, and through these dialogues, we see some of William's own doubts and anxieties about the whole longevity project come back up. He admits that it can be lonely at times, watching generations come and go while he stays basically the same.
It's a reminder that even with an extended lifespan, there's still a sense of loss, a yearning for connection with those who share our journey through time.
Exactly. And William talks about how important it is to find ways to honor the memories of those he's lost while still being open to the possibilities of the present.
But as their bond deepens, William and Penelope encounter a challenge that really highlights the enduring power of human relationships. Penelope's daughter gets sick, and she has to leave William to care for her. It's a poignant reminder that even in a world where technology can seemingly conquer death, we're still bound by the fragility of human life and the unwavering strength of love and family.
It's a truly heartbreaking moment, but it also shows the depth of their connection. They promise to stay in touch, to support each other during this difficult time, and to find ways to overcome the physical distance between them.
It's like their love goes beyond the limits of space and time, a testament to the enduring power of that human connection. And even though it hurts to be apart, William finds comfort in the memories of those he's loved and knowing he's made a difference in the world.
Absolutely. He keeps writing, putting his thoughts and reflections into his journals. He explores his changing understanding of life, death, and the search for meaning in a world where those boundaries are constantly shifting.
It's like he's using writing as a way to work through his experiences, to understand the world, and to connect with others who might be wrestling with the same questions.
And as the story comes to a close, we see William embracing the power of legacy. He decides to publish his journals, sharing his insights and reflections with everyone.
It's a beautiful way to honor the people he's loved, to pass on what he's learned, and to leave his mark on the world. Even though he's lived this extraordinary life, it's his openness, his willingness to share his struggles and victories that makes his story so relatable and so inspiring.
It reminds us that even as technology advances and things change all around us, it's our connections with each other, our shared experiences, and our ability to love and care that truly defines who we are.
And that wraps up our deep dive into The Man Who Stopped Aging. It's been a really fascinating look at what it means to be human in a world where the lines between life and death are constantly being blurred.
It's a story that makes us think about our own values, our priorities, and the legacy we want to leave behind.
And it leaves us wondering about what might be possible as we continue to explore the implications of emerging technologies and how they shape our understanding of life itself.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep asking those tough questions, and keep diving deep into the mysteries all around us.
And remember, even in a world that never stops changing, the importance of connection, the search for meaning, and the desire to make a positive impact will always matter.